Well, I guess we're live. Man, this pollen's still getting me, making my voice go away, which some people would say is a good thing. Hello, everybody. This is Mike from Mike's Magic Auto Detailing and Paint Enhancement / Paint Correction here in another sunny day in Sharpsburg, Georgia. How's everybody doing? I hope y'all are doing good. Hope somebody jumps on here shortly. Oh my goodness, look at that, look at that. There was some state crews out here earlier, parked all up and down my street. Bunch of guys, all I ever see them do is stand around talking. I don't know what they did, if anything. I don't know, it said state prisoners on their little traffic vest. I don't know what they were doing. But as you recall, some of you, if not, you can go back and watch the previous videos. Sally here had gotten a lot of pollen on her, and oh boy, it mixed with some light rain when I had to go to the store a couple times. Made a gooey mess, yellowish mess. Go back and look at that. And I showed some of the results and stuff in those previous videos. Hey, Mr. Jason, on what I did, and here are the final results, Jason. Yep. And somebody said, well, you know, that's fine and good, Mike, but you didn't show us what to do or how to do it. You just said you did it or what you used. So I thought today I'd make a relatively short video, Jason, on that. And as I said the other day, I'll go over the rinseless wash first. What I did was I used a McKee's 37 that does not leave any protection behind, because I knew on my new method here, or new to me method, is during the rinseless wash I was going to use a drying aid, which would leave behind some protection. And then I decided to use a quick detailer behind that for a little higher level of protection, so forth and so on, and get rid of some of the smudges I left behind with the drying aid. But I was going to show you how I did that. Many of you may recall, I have according to the manufacturer's instructions, I have the rinseless wash mixed up in this cordless sprayer here, which I have not much left, but there's probably enough to do my demonstration today. Now, you don't have to have one of those fancy things. I just got it, Jason, because I thought it was kind of cool, and plus with my arthritis, I get tired of doing this, and I get tired of pumping. Yeah. I know. It says don't rotate your device. But, you know, for a very long time, Jason, I used just a regular old, I think this is a Harbor Freight pump sprayer. It'll work just fine. I have a more expensive pump sprayer here, which is a Merrill-X. I don't know, these are really expensive, and I'm not that impressed with them. They do a better job than the cheap ones do, but the cheap ones will work just fine. Okay. And you can see over there I have yet another cordless sprayer, which is, the main difference is it's just bigger, has a more capacity than that one. Hey, Miss Lori. Hey, baby. How you doing? But I'm gonna move right along here and show you guys, you know, a little bit of a, man, those trucks are loud. Keeps telling me to rotate my device, and I'm not gonna be hurting anything, even though I'm completely done. The first thing I do is I do this to the whole car. I just come in here, spray this rinseless wash solution on here, give it a good soaking, and what it does, it has what they call surfactants in it, which encapsulate the dirt. In this case, just a little light bit of dust, but yesterday it was a good bit of pollen and probably other stuff that was on the paint. And, you know, just let it sit there for a few minutes. Normally I would spray pretty much the entire vehicle down, leave it for a couple of minutes, give that stuff that's in that rinseless wash a chance to do its job. If you immediately start washing, you haven't allowed it to do what it's designed to do. So let it sit for a few minutes. It's not going to hurt a thing. In fact, it will help you. And then in my bucket here, I've got one more mitt left, and just a little bit of solution in it, left over from yesterday. You can see it's dripping wet a little bit, but it's not like rudden dripping. Then what I do is I take this wash mitt. You can use the big red sponge or the black sponge or microfiber towels. These are high quality wash mitts that come from Aqualux Detailing Supply out in Texas, run by former Marine Jason. It's just him and his wife, and they got a couple kids, young kids. They're a young couple, and they've started putting out, this is some high quality wash mitt. You cannot buy this kind of quality around town, but if that's all you want to get, that's fine. Well, what I do is I take this thing like this, and I just use a part of it, and I bring it down across gently, folks, gently. You're not scrubbing here. You're just removing the top layer of dust, dirt, road film, and whatever you want to call it. It's just that simple. I'm just barely putting enough pressure on it to come in contact, to keep it in contact with the paint. That's all you need. And then if I was going on to another side of the hood or another section, I would use the other half of this side of this mitt to do that. And then when I move to that half of the hood or whatever, I would flip to the clean side. And once I got this mitt dirty, into the laundry it goes, and I grab a clean one, a fresh one. I never put a wash media, as we call it, back on the paint that's got dirt on it from where I've washed. Whether I'm using a rinseless or a traditional wash, maintenance wash, strip wash, it doesn't matter. But that's how I basically do that. And like I say, when I get done, it goes in my laundry stack over there. Okay, so now I'm done. I've rinseless washed this part of the hood. That's all there is to it, folks. And then sometimes I just use my car dryer, which uses filtered heated air to dry it with, but just for demonstration purposes, just for playing around the last couple days. Okay, this has been rinseless washed. It's ready to be washed. And what I've been experimenting with is kind of sort of an off-label use for this product. It's called Superior Formula Spray Wax. And see, I've got my notation there. It's diluted 3 or 4 to 1. I have it in just a regular old spray bottle. See, if you do it 4 to 1, it makes an excellent, what they call drying aid, Jason. And since it is a spray wax, it does have a wee bit of wax in it. I forget what the name of the chemical is, Jason, but it's what commercial car washes use to spray your car with if you were to happen to run it through a tunnel washer, one of those, which I would never do. But it makes it hydrophobic, as they call it. It makes the water go away and dry up. And that's why you see them a lot of times drying them off with towels, because it does leave that little bit of wax. And if you don't dry it down with a towel, it will streak. But all you do then is you come in over here, and where the panel you've rinseless washed, and you can do this one panel at a time, which is what I would suggest. You just spray this stuff on here, and you can see it's already starting to have an effect. Always shake the bottle, because all these chemicals will settle rather quickly. And then this is a drying towel. I forget what they call this one. These are very expensive from Aqualux, but this towel itself will absorb a couple of gallons of water. And all you do to dry it, you just lightly drag it down across the paint. I'm not even putting any down pressure. I'm just dragging it. Maybe even go back over it again. Ooh-wee. Bugs keep flying in here and other stuff. That's just a very gentle drying process, folks. There we have it. And a lot of people, and you know, my first go around yesterday, this is all I did. You can see that's turning out pretty nice, pretty nice. I don't particularly like using this stuff as a drying aid. And I bought it, Jason, a lot of the O'Reilly's auto parts store places carry it. They keep it behind the counter. It does not sit out. So you have to ask for it. Sometimes you may have to order it from them and it'll take a day or so for it to get there. But I think O'Reilly's is the only ones that carry the superior products. And most of the time they'll have a lot of it in stock, but sometimes they have to order. They make a variety of different products, and Superior makes some very decent products. As you can see there, that's turning out pretty good. That was my next method. But then I decided I had ordered a new quick detailer. Hey, Karen Copley, how are ya? Another product I've been trying out is from Dallas Paint Coatings. They're again out of Dallas, Texas, owned by Scott Blay, a very famous detailer. And he just came out with this not too long ago. And you can also use this as a clay lube. You could also use it as a drying aid, which after trying this stuff out yesterday, and I'll demonstrate it for you here shortly, this is what I'm going to switch to. And hell, I may throw that Superior product stuff away, or hell, just give it to somebody in the neighborhood, Jason, if they want it. You dilute it down 4-to-1. This stuff you use full strength. He says you can use it as a drying aid as well, which I will probably do, as well as a quick detailer. This is what we call an SiO2 ceramic infused detailer. It does leave behind a very solid amount of protection, Jason, that will last, I think he said 6 to 8 months. I don't know about that, but we'll see. But here again, you shake it up. This is my application towel, and all you do is you spray this on the towel. A couple good spritzes ought to do it. And you come over here, and there again, you just gently massage it into the paint, as we call it. And this is hard doing by yourself, being your own cameraman. And what I'm doing is removing any smudges that might have been left behind. I'm also leaving behind some excellent gloss and shine and protection here. Just gently. You don't have to be as extensive with the wiping as I'm doing. 1 or 2 wipes will do it. And there again, what I normally do is I'll fold it into fourths like that. I'll use it this part for one part. Then I'll flip to the clean part. Same thing. And then after I'm through with that, I'll flip it back this way, do the same thing over again, then turn it inside out and start all over again. I use, I don't know, 5 or 6 of these doing this car, not counting what I used on the wheels, because I'm not using, I do the wheels last, because I like to use what I call a downgraded towel. And then I use a smaller drying towel, which is also what we call twisted loop. You can see how thick and soft that is, to come back over this a little bit. And folks, it's just not going to get much better than that. And this hood is pitiful. This is extremely cheap paint that was on this car when I bought it. I know the rest of the paint is Mako. I'm not sure if Mako did this or if they did this in the backyard. There's all kinds of defects in the paint. I don't know if y'all can see that. There's several of these where they got dirt and stuff in it and didn't finish down properly. But hey, Hey, you know, whatever. I'm going to repaint the hood anyway, but for cheap, pitiful paint, that ain't bad, folks. That's not bad at all. But that's the new method that I was experimenting with, and it's one that I will probably stick with, Jason, from here on out for maintenance washes. Now, this rinseless wash stuff is not really good when your car needs a real serious wash job, like your truck did. I wouldn't want to depend on this for that. It will not remove tar and that kind of stuff, and stuff that is bonded to your paint. You're going to have to get that off with something else. But, you know, this was just dust, road film as I call it, pollen, and it really didn't need a full wash job. And I didn't feel like dragging out the hoses and the buckets and the power washers and all that stuff and the car dryers. Oh, man. So I just did this. And y'all could go back and look at the previous videos if you like and see how bad this was when I started and where it is now. And this did not take me long at all. What probably took me the longest, Jason, you know, going around doing the wheels. I mean, all those little nooks and crannies, that's a pain. I don't care what you're doing to them. But I did put the 8-year coating on the wheels as well. Made them really easy to clean up, really easy. And I also rinseless washed the tires with an old microfiber towel. Sprayed them with that sprayer you saw. Yeah, like I said, you could use any sprayer. But, you know, probably all told, including going back and quick detailing the car after I finished the rinseless wash and drying and all that, because I did the glass, everything, and I took the rear louvers off to clean that back glass. I cleaned the louvers and put them back on, as you can see, and they look pretty good now. Probably at the most an hour and a half, Jason. Very easy method. And a lot of these high-level detailers will tell you this is actually safer method than your traditional washing methods. You're less likely to scratch your vehicle's paint doing it this way than you are with the normal car wash soaps and all that. And I'm sure that it probably is, just from my own experimenting. But as I said, not all the time can you do this method, but it is a good method to improve your vehicle's appearance drastically. Let's say if it's raining outside, you live in an apartment or a townhouse, or you live in a city where you're not allowed to wash your car because of water shortages, it's too cold outside, blah blah blah. But it does save a lot of water. A lot. And that's another consideration these days, I think. I mean, you know, the water bill is getting kind of high. But I'll lay that on the paint, scratch it. But, you know, if a quickie cleanup, this is hard to beat. And this is all my car gets, 95+% of the time. This is all I do to it. In fact, they tell me, Jason, if you do the pre-rinse with the power washer and all that stuff, that you can scratch your paint with the power washer, because you're taking that dirt that's on the surface of the paint and bonded to it like mud, that kind of stuff, and you're physically pushing it across the paint with high pressure, and it's a downward force. I don't care even if you're spraying from the side, and just simply doing that will sometimes scratch your paint. That's what they tell me. I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, this is a good, quick, effective method. Now, with all that being said, I showed you guys the products that I've been using. There are other rinseless washes I think you can get on the retail level. I think they're all relatively good. Just be sure and follow the directions. There are other quick detailers out there that you can buy on the retail level. They're not terrible. I've tried them all. None of them come close to this stuff. QD from DPC website. So, but if you're gonna, you know, with the shipping and all these days, if you're gonna get some of this stuff, these towels, this stuff, you might want to order it about at least 4 days ahead of when you think you're gonna need it, because sometimes the overnight shipping isn't overnight anymore. All that means is this week sometime. And I get it, I understand it. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying that's the way it is for the most part. Some of this car care stuff you can get off of Amazon, and sometimes they get it here pretty quickly as well. I think I bought that cordless sprayer off of Amazon, if I remember correctly, at whatever trips your trigger. Like I say, you don't have to have one of those. It's just the way I choose to do it, because of my arthritis mainly, and plus it's kind of cool. Sometimes I've used the larger one. You know, they make all kinds of high pressure pump up sprayers and that kind of stuff. I mean, you can go crazy with all this, but you know what? If your car needs cleaning and you don't have a lot of time, you know what? Don't overthink it. Just do it. Just start experience. Watch you a couple of YouTube videos. There's plenty of how-to wrenchless wash car videos out there with several different methods and products and blah, 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 blah. There's probably at least a half a dozen wrenchless wash products on the market. And they also make what they call a waterless wash, which I haven't really played with too much. Who knows? But you know what? If you want to see some, you see a good price on it, hey, grab your bottle and try it out. Why the hell not? Why the hell not? But I'd say probably the most important part of the wrenchless wash is spray it on, let it do its job for a couple minutes. Always use a clean mitt before you start wiping it across the paint, and you should be good. You should be good, folks. It may not come out looking as good as mine did. Don't forget, I have an 8-year titanium coating on my car, which makes it much, much easier to clean. I also have the 3-year ceramic coating on the glass. I coated the wheels. I've got a high quality coating on the tires. So that makes my cleanup a little easier, but not necessarily any faster. But you know, I had a old buddy from high school stop by one day. He said he washes his truck once or twice a year, whether it needs it or not. And I just stood there with him and on the hood, which we were out there in the direct sunlight. This can be much more difficult if you're in the sunlight, folks. Try to do it in the shade or in the garage like I'm doing. Try to stay out of the sunlight if at all possible. If you're in the sunlight, just do a section at a time. Trust me on that. But I just rinseless washed his hood right quick, and it hadn't been washed in a year. And he was just astounded by how well it looked. What a vast improvement it made. And his paint is horrible. It's an old truck. It's like I don't know, it's like 15, 20 years old. But we made it look much better in just a matter of minutes, and he was totally happy with it. So, you know, folks, don't overthink it too much. If you need to get the pollen and the road film off, just get to it. You can do this on a car the size of mine if you just get to it and don't ass around like I did, talking on the phone, taking potty breaks and blah, 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 and piddling around, experimenting. You could do this 30, 40 minutes at the most, and get close to these results, depending on how good a condition your car's in now. All right, just do it, folks. Don't even think about it. You don't have to pay somebody like me to do this. I'll be glad to take your money if you like, but it's relatively simple to do. Not a lot of high skill involved, not a lot of high level of knowledge or experience, although all that will make it better. And, you know, the second time you'll do a better job than you did the first time, probably. And, you know, like one reason it took me a little bit longer, that pollen had gotten in, you know, all these little nooks and crannies. And I think in one of the videos I showed you how it accumulated here. And I did take my little soft boar's hair detail brush and get it out of those little nooks and crannies where my wash mitt wasn't reaching in far enough to grab it all. It got most of it, but being as picky as I am, I sprayed the Rentus wash down in all this, and then I just went over it with my brush. No biggie. That took me a little bit longer that way, but if you're not really caring about that, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. You'll get most of it if you're using a good high quality wash mitt. All right, folks, I appreciate everybody dropping by. Talk to you later, Mr. Jason, my neighbor. Good to see you around, Miss Lori. I hope Mr. Mike is doing okay. Lori and her husband, the Stapp duo, used to work with me at the Sheriff's Department many years ago. Yeah, it's been many years ago now. Good folks, good folks. All right, I appreciate everybody. Like, tag, share, follow, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, all that stuff. Make comments, whatever. Appreciate y'all. Thank you. Bye-bye.